How you doing, everybody? This is Robin Williams with Empower Network. Take 2 of this video. Note to self, don't start recording a long video without making sure your phone is charged all the way to make it through the video. And it was so funny because when I was looking at the video that I was not able to complete because of the battery issue, I was looking at my teeth in the video and they were like bright, like that bright sunny yellow in my teeth. And so basically I was like, ew, what is that? Why are my teeth so yellow? Like, what's on them or whatever? And I looked to the left and that yellow dot kept changing up or whatever. It kept moving wherever I was looking at. And I guess it was because the light on my camera phone was too bright. So I pretty much had to go to a brighter location to reshoot the video anyway. And I'm kind of upset. Because it's not that bright in here either, which is crazy. Try to add some more light. Add some more light. I love light. Tiny bit better. So anyway, my video is on traffic and the time it takes you to get to work. Basically, I'm making this video towards anybody who's just sick and tired of going through the day-to-day traffic, going to and from work. I'm like 35 minutes away from DC, so this is a pretty high traffic area here. And I personally don't go through a lot of traffic myself, thankfully. But I recently came from Chicago for the Empower Network event, and it was so crazy because I drove 11 hours straight from Pennsylvania to Chicago with no problem, no traffic issues, and mainly because I like to leave at midnight because I just can't stand traffic. But anyway, I didn't have not one issue with traffic the entire way, just on the road. The biggest issue was me having to go to the bathroom so much. So I get there 10 minutes away from the hotel we were staying at, and it takes me 2 hours to get to the hotel. So, I mean, I was so pissed, and I don't know about you, but I try to stay positive about things and life or whatever. And like, I don't try to get upset even over the smallest or even over the biggest thing, because it's easier to get upset over the biggest things. But I could feel my vein popping out. Like, it felt like it was just going like this because the pressure and the stress, and I was trying to be positive or whatever. And so we finally get there 2 hours later, even though we were 10 minutes away because of some flood issues. That was crazy. I'll get to that in another video. But because of some flood issues, we get there or whatever. But I couldn't even imagine being in traffic every day like that. I don't think my life would not be pretty. I would not enjoy life. That's just, I don't know. I would have to find ways to be positive about that. And the next day, I also encountered a lot of traffic issues where it took me 2 hours to get from the inner city, downtown Chicago, to where our hotel was at. It took me 2 hours. And after that, I said, I'm done with Chicago. FYI, if you ever travel to Chicago, make sure you stay in the city. Don't rent a car. Don't drive to Chicago. And make sure you take the metro train wherever you got to go, because that is straight ridiculous. Never again will I go to Chicago in a car. So I can feel your pain on a certain level because I don't deal with it every day. But for those of you who are frustrated, tired of traffic, you're spending, 2 to 4 hours in traffic a day. I sort of feel your pain. I can't say I'm coming exactly where you're from, because no, I'm not. I'm not doing it every day. I just get upset when I'm stuck in it, every now and then. And I wanted to share a couple of stories. I told my best friend that I was going to blog about this story. He was like, oh, you better not, but I am. And the first story that he told me wasn't really funny, but I'm going to knock that story out first. I think it was actually kind of sad. The first story he told me was that he was talking to a couple coworkers, and his coworkers expressed the fact that they were stuck in traffic so long that they wanted to commit suicide. And so when he first told me, I was like, whatever. Nah, they ain't say that. It wasn't serious, you know. He was like, no, they was dead serious. They was thinking about committing suicide because they was stuck in traffic for so long. There's somebody trying to make their, you know, day-to-day money, trying to go back and forth, provide for their family. And I said, you gotta be kidding me. You know, like I mean, I don't remember the time frame of how long they were stuck in traffic, but honestly, like I can't even imagine being stuck in traffic for that long. Like I just can't. And if somebody is truly thinking about committing suicide because they're stuck in traffic, you might want to consider going another route, getting your income. You might want to consider getting another job, maybe start your own business, like a lot of people in Empower Network did. Hint, 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 hint. But I'm just saying, like, me personally, I think I would consider doing something else. Okay. Then the second story he told me, which was hilarious, and he gets mad because I just laughed my heart out at him for certain things or whatever. And the second story was the fact that we had a snowstorm about 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago in this area. I'm going to say 3 years ago because time is flying. About 3 years ago in this area is a really big snowstorm. And at the time, I didn't have to deal with any traffic because I was still pretty close to where I worked at that time. And he told me that he was stuck in traffic for so long that he started crying. Like real tears were coming down his face. He started crying, you know, and calling people like, I'm stuck in traffic. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I started busting out laughing because I'm just imagining a grown ass man in the car, sitting in the car crying because he was stuck in traffic. He said he normally takes the drive without any traffic, normally takes 35 to 40 minutes. On bad days, it's an hour and a half to 3 hours, which I was like, oh, hell no. He said on this particular day, it took him 7 hours to get from work to home. And I was like, no, I don't even believe it. You know, I don't even believe it. He said, yeah. He said he was crying. Like tears was flowing. Real grown man tears were falling from his face. And I just thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. You know, I got a good laugh out of that. It was you know how you just love those good laughs. I got a good laugh out of that. So thank you, Corey Creech, for that good laugh. And I'm about to put one more story out there. I didn't tell you I was gonna put this story out, but this was funny too. So mind you, if you ever come to DC, you're hearing some of the horror stories in traffic. So I consider you doing the same thing that you do for Chicago. I consider you doing the same thing for DC. You know, go in the middle of the city, use their metro, and travel that way, and you'll be happier. Your vacation will be better. Don't come here expecting to drive and get from A to B all quick. So he said it was when we just moved back into this area. He dropped his mother off from work one morning. He got lost in DC, and that's another thing. You don't even want to deal with the system. Like the one-way streets are crazy, the roundabouts are crazy. You're stuck in traffic. You miss your turn. You're probably adding 20 minutes on your drive because all these one-way streets are going to jack you up from getting to where you need to go. So basically he messed up. He got lost in DC, and it was so funny because he's from this area. When he told me this, I was like, nah, I don't believe you. He was lost for 6 hours, I think. 6 hours in DC. In DC, if you know DC ain't but this big, okay? He was lost in DC for 6 hours after he dropped his mother off. 6 hours. This don't really have nothing to do with traffic, but I'm pretty sure that probably had something to do with a little bit of traffic here in the morning or whatever. But I had to put that story out there because it was hilarious. That gave me a big laugh. But the story with the crying traffic tears, that was even bigger. And I just had to put him out on blast like that. You know, I was like, was your mom back home from work by the time you got back? She probably worked the whole shift and got back home before he got there. So anyway, if you tired and frustrated of living in your car for X amount of hours, however long it's taking you to go back and forth, try another way. Try join the Empower Network. I'm just gonna be real with you. Try join the Empower Network. get in, click the button. You know, you can test it out. And also, if you do join, I would like to see you go to Denver, Colorado in July. I don't want to say one of the most powerful events I've ever been to with Empower Network, but it is the most, not one of the most, but the most powerful event I ever went to in my life with Empower Network. And they have another one, is Don't Be a Wussy event 2013. All right, so if you badass, click the button, join now. Ease your way on up out of traffic today. All right, I'll catch you on the next video that I'm about to shoot in 5 minutes. Peace.